Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero, Chapter 69. So, first off, we kinda get an answer in terms of what being Valkyrie's successor would mean for Homura, and what Homura herself would have to do in order to fill the position, which, for right now, is really just maintaining and being responsible for the ship's armory. However, with the new wrinkle of Etherion being thrown into the mix, and more specifically, it requiring authentication from all four starshines to you in order to use it. That that alone, it does more or less confirm to me there is some minor detail which is leaving out of all this, and whatever whatever the secret is behind the door, and when it's revealed, and whatever that is, when we learn the secret of what's behind that door, that's probably when we're gonna learn what exactly that pretty much final detail is, if any. Because yeah, I do get the feeling just with this reveal of Etherion in itself, it tells me there's got to be something else here. Um, and yeah, if Mashima in any way, shape, or form is carrying more than just a name over from Fairy Tail, then I think it's fair to say Eden Zero's version of Etherion is more or less some kind of weapon, like the mouth of the figurehead, like the mouth of the figurehead of the Eden Zero ship, like transforms into like a cannon or something like that. Like I get there's with when it comes to Etherion and my speculation as to what it could be in this universe. The pretty much two things I have right now are it's either a weapon of some kind, or it could be like a pretty much a light speed engine or something like that. Only because I think if you look at it as a whole, I think it is. I think the door that leads to Etherion that seals away Etherion is in the back of the ship. I think. I don't know. I've never really tried to take a look at the schematics of what Eden Zero actually is, but yeah, it's either a cannon or some kind of a light speed engine. I'm guessing of some kind, but I'm definitely leaning a little more in the weapons department only because of the other little factor here that Ephraim supposedly that Ephraim Witch wanted that Witch wanted that Witch wanted that Witch wanted Homura in order to keep the secret of the Etherion from Shiki. So yeah, obviously there's either way, whatever Etherion is, it's definitely something dangerous for sure. Um, Now, obviously, another big thing about this chapter is Rebecca's dream, vision, nightmare, whatever you want to call it. And to my recollection, we have seen something like this before on Sun Jewel. So I think what we're essentially seeing in this chapter is that with Rebecca having awakened her ether gear, she's also gained the ability to peer into the future as well. So if what we see is the actual case, and if the situation where we see of basically Happy dying is the case, then it's just a matter of figuring out how Happy dies and what can be done in order to prevent it from happening. Also, kind of a minor detail to mention, and I don't know if it was just me, but I'm not gonna lie, at least a good half, like for the first the thing about this chapter for me, and it's very rare I bring up the pacing, but here I definitely have to address it because definitely for the first half of this chapter, the pacing of it was going fairly smooth, and then when we get to the and then we get when we get to the and then when we get to like pretty much when we get to Rebecca's nightmare vision thing, that's where the pacing really kind of really kind of went a little off kilter for me. Like the pacing really kind of really just kind of felt a little too quick almost, and and the pacing like in the second half of the chapter just felt really rushed, but by the middle point and onwards. So yeah, I don't know if that was me, but yeah, the pacing it felt a little it felt a little off, at least by the second, at least by the bookend or second half of the chapter for sure. But yeah, that first half was good. The second half not so much. And yeah, let's talk about the ending with the crew essentially raiding Draken Joe's base, which, again, going off what I said about the pacing, I would have liked a little bit more build up to that. But at the same time, this is a confrontation that's been a long time coming and built up through previous arcs. So I do appreciate how we're being thrust into it right now. The only, and I mean the only concern I do have is that I really hope Majima hasn't built up this confrontation only for the fight between Shiki and Draken Joe to last a single chapter. I mean, I'm not gonna deny he's definitely got. I mean, I'm not gonna deny praise to him, and I can definitely say he's definitely gotten better with investing us in these fights. Like if you look at the fight between like from Shiki and basically Kurenai, that fight in itself, it lasted more than one chapter for sure. So that in itself, it does give me a little bit of hope. And but for me, this is going to be the real test as this is to me is going to be the big test, because this fight in itself is like is arguably one of the first major turning point. This is going to be one of the first like major turning point fights of the series, arguably, because Shiki is fighting one of the demon generals. So yeah, I hope whatever Mashima has planned for this, I really want like a really good confrontation between Draken Joe and Shiki for sure. And again, just going off Rebecca's whole like vision nightmare thing, that in itself, it does already give me a little more confidence going in. But yeah, I really want to see like genuinely what Draken Joe is capable of, what kind of menace that this guy really freaking is as a member of the demon of the Irration States Galactica, or yeah, whatever they're called. And yeah, the other thing too, obviously, is that is that we basically already is that they've already like again, this kind of goes a little bit into the pacing issue again, but they just kind of thrusted us into Shiki and the others just kind of infiltrating Draken Joe's base, which yeah, I think we're definitely gonna get a lot of cool action next week for sure, either way. And yeah, I really can't wait to see what's in store here. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a few fights between like pretty much between like pretty much Homura Weiss and Draken Joe's men too, or something like that. Draken Joe's subordinates too. But yeah. Now. Okay. One final thing, and it's a little bit more of a comedic thing to talk about, but. And I hope I'm not alone here, but is anyone else at this point getting a little disturbed by Ivory's training methods / kink? I mean, seriously, when I saw she had Moscow bound BDSM style like that, I laughed, but at the same time, it was an awkward laugh. Like I'm basically all for. It's one of those things where I'm like, Ivory, you're a sadist. We get it. You can tone it down, please. It's one of those things where it's funny, but it's awkward as hell to look at. Like, okay, Mashima, Ivory, tone it down there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.